When life presents it, it's easy to look around, hoping someone will come and lift you up. And while there's nothing wrong with receiving help, there is a deeper truth. Your greatest victories will always be born from the strength you discover within yourself. That strength isn't built overnight. It is forged in the quiet moments where you choose to persevere when it would be easier to give up. Every person who has ever achieved greatness had to begin by taking ownership of their journey. They stopped waiting for perfect conditions. They refused to let fear dictate their decisions. They chose to move, even when the path ahead wasn't fully visible. That's the essence of being your own strength, believing that the ability to stand, decide, and move forward is already inside you. The first step you take may not feel powerful. It might be as simple as starting the project you've been putting off, applying for that opportunity you've been afraid of, or committing to a habit you've avoided. But make no mistake, that first step breaks the inertia. It tells your heart and mind, we're going somewhere, we're not staying here. The journey will not be without resistance. You'll face doubts, distractions, and setbacks. But here's the truth. Every obstacle is also an opportunity to strengthen your endurance. Each time you face a challenge and choose to rise instead of retreat, you are building a foundation that can carry far more weight than you realize. And when success comes, and it will, you will look back and see that it wasn't luck, nor only the help of others that brought you here. It was the choice you made to stand strong when no one else could do it for you. So today, take that first step. Not because you feel ready, but because you are willing. Stand in the truth that your strength is not something you have to borrow, it's something you already carry. And while and you live from that truth, success doesn't just become possible, it becomes unstoppable. True strength comes from within, and it is one of the most valuable lessons you can ever learn in your personal and professional life. We live in a world where it's easy to look outward for motivation, support, and validation, and while those things can be helpful, they are never guaranteed. There will be days when encouragement from others is absent, when applause is replaced with silence, and when the people you expected to stand beside you are simply not there. In those moments, what will carry you forward is not the external push, but the internal drive. That inner strength is like the root system of a great tree, unseen by the eye, but holding the entire structure firm through every storm. Without roots, the tree falls no matter how tall it has grown. Without inner strength, success will always be fragile and dependent on forces you cannot control. Developing this strength is not about arrogance or isolation, but about cultivating a resilience that allows you to stand firm no matter what is happening around you. Building inner strength starts with self-awareness. You cannot rely on something you don't know you have. This means taking the time to discover your values, your vision, and your unique abilities. It means asking yourself hard questions. What do I truly want? What matters most to me? What am I willing to fight for, even when it's uncomfortable? This process of reflection is not glamorous, and it doesn't produce instant results, but it lays the foundation for a kind of power that is not shaken by temporary setbacks or shifting opinions. Once you are aware of your inner capacity, you must begin to exercise it. Strength, whether physical or emotional, grows through use. Just as a muscle becomes stronger the more it is challenged, your inner resolve grows each time you choose discipline over distraction, perseverance over quitting, and courage over fear. This is why challenges, though uncomfortable, are actually opportunities. They stretch you, test you, and in doing so, they reveal what you're truly capable of. People often wish for an easier path, but an easy path rarely produces strong travelers. The difficulties you face are not signs of weakness. They are the training ground for the strength you will need for greater responsibilities ahead. It's important to understand that inner strength is not about being emotionless or pretending nothing affects you. True strength allows you to feel deeply, to acknowledge pain or disappointment, and still choose to keep moving. It's about having the ability to stand in the middle of uncertainty without collapsing. It's the quiet decision to try again after a failure, the willingness to take responsibility for your actions, and the courage to admit when you don't have all the answers but are committed to finding them. Another key aspect of building this inner power is learning to separate your identity from your circumstances. Many people define themselves by what they are going through or by how others see them. This makes them vulnerable to every opinion, every setback, and every change in fortune. But when you anchor your identity in something deeper, your values, your purpose, your faith, you create stability. External situations may shift, but your sense of self remains intact. That stability is a source of strength that no one can take away from you. There will be times when you feel worn out, when your progress is slow, and when you question whether you can continue. In those times, remember that you have already survived challenges you once thought would break you. Reflect on the moments when you didn't think you had the energy, the courage, or the skill, yet somehow you made it through. Those past victories are proof of the strength that lives inside you. Let them remind you that you have more endurance than you think, more wisdom than you realize, and more capacity for growth than you have yet discovered. True strength is not something that arrives in a single moment. It is cultivated daily in the small, unseen choices you make. It's built every time you get up early to work on your goals instead of sleeping in, every time you choose honesty over convenience, and every time you say no to things that weaken your focus and yes to things that build your future. Over time, these choices create a pattern, and that pattern becomes the life you live. When you understand that real power is internal, you stop being at the mercy of circumstances. You stop waiting for perfect conditions or for someone else to make things happen for you. You begin to act from a place of confidence rather than fear. You understand that while others can support you, inspire you, or walk alongside you, no one can carry you all the way. Your journey is yours to walk, and your strength is yours to develop. So choose to nurture that inner strength every single day. Feed it with positive thoughts, train it with consistent action, and protect it by refusing to give your power away to negativity or doubt. In doing so, you'll find that you are not just reacting to life, you are leading it. And that is when you will discover the true freedom and success that only comes when you have become your own source of strength. The first step determines the journey, and this truth carries far more weight than most people realize. Every great achievement, every long journey, every life-changing transformation begins not with a leap to the finish line, but with the courage to take a single, deliberate step forward. That first step is not just a small movement. It is a decision, a statement, and a turning point. It sets the direction, activates momentum, and begins to shape the person you are becoming. Without it, dreams remain ideas, goals stay as lists on paper, and potential never transforms into reality. People often underestimate how powerful it is to simply start. They overthink, they wait for the perfect time, or they convince themselves they need to have the entire path mapped out before they can move. But perfection is an illusion, and the map is built as you walk. The act of beginning shifts you from passive wishing to active living, and that shift is the seed of success. Taking the first step requires you to leave behind the comfort zone that has kept you safe but stagnant. Comfort zones feel secure because they are predictable, but they also limit your growth. The first step is often uncomfortable because it moves you into the unknown, where outcomes are uncertain and fears try to speak louder than faith. This is why many people delay starting for weeks, months, or even years. But waiting for fear to vanish before you move is like waiting for the sea to be still before you sail. You will wait forever. The truth is, fear doesn't disappear before the first step. It usually fades after you've taken it. Movement itself begins to dismantle the power that fear holds over you. Once you've taken that initial action, something incredible happens. Momentum begins to build. Momentum is a powerful force because it transforms effort into progress and progress into confidence. Even small wins can boost your belief in yourself, and that belief fuels the desire to take the next step. It's like pushing a heavy object. The hardest part is getting it to move, but once it's in motion, every push becomes easier. This is why starting is the most critical part. Without it, momentum can never begin. And without momentum, even the best intentions fade away. The first step also shapes the direction of your journey. Decisions have a compounding effect. Each choice you make opens certain doors and closes others. The path you take is determined not only by your destination, but by the choices you make right now. That's why it's important to make your first step intentional rather than random. If you want to write a book, your first step should be committing to write for 10 minutes a day, not waiting until you feel inspired. If you want to get healthier, your first step might be replacing one unhealthy habit with a better one, defeated the inertia that was holding you back. It's important to note that the first step doesn't have to be perfect or even visible to others. Sometimes it's an internal decision, a shift in mindset that changes how you see yourself and your possibilities. Other times it's a small external action that no one else notices but that matters deeply to you. What's important is not the size of the step, but the fact that it moves you forward. Too many people measure the value of their beginnings by the applause they receive, when in reality the most powerful beginnings are often quiet and unseen, setting the stage for breakthroughs yet to come. Taking that step will test your willingness to commit. Commitment is not measured by your feelings on the good days, but by your actions on the hard ones. The moment you start, obstacles will present themselves. Life has a way of testing how badly you want something. This is not meant to discourage you, but to strengthen you. Challenges encountered after the first step are part of the process. They refine your skills, build your resilience, and prepare you for greater opportunities ahead. If the journey were smooth from start to finish, you would reach your goal without becoming the person capable of sustaining it. The first step also signals to yourself and to others that you are serious about your goals. People respond differently to someone who is moving forward compared to someone who is merely talking about moving forward. Opportunities often appear after you've started walking because movement attracts possibilities that standing still never will. You may meet people along the way who can help you learn lessons that sharpen your approach and discover doors you didn't know existed, and all because you had the courage to begin. It's worth remembering that the journey is rarely a straight line. The first step will not eliminate detours, just delays or wrong turns. But those are not signs of failure. They are part of the adventure. Every step, even the missteps, teaches you something that prepares you for the future. What matters is that you keep walking, keep adjusting, and keep aiming toward your vision. You can always change your pace or your strategy, but you cannot arrive anywhere if you refuse to start. So don't wait for every detail to be perfect or for every fear to disappear. The first step doesn't require you to have all the answers. It only requires you to move. Start with what you have, where you are, and with the knowledge that you will learn along the way. Because once you take that first step, the journey begins. And with each step after that, you will find yourself closer to the life you were meant to live. There is a powerful truth about success that many people overlook. It is not the final destination that defines your life as much as the process of becoming the person who can reach it and sustain it. The journey is not just about getting somewhere. It is about who you are becoming along the way. Too often, people are so fixated on the end goal that they forget the path itself is shaping their character, refining their skills, and teaching them lessons that will matter far beyond the moment of achievement. Every challenge you face, every decision you make, and every obstacle you overcome is building a foundation for the future. Success that arrives without this foundation rarely lasts because it is not supported by the resilience, discipline, and perspective needed to maintain it. The process is not a delay to your goal, it is part of the goal. Without it, the reward will have no depth and the victory will feel empty. When you start a journey, the vision of the end result may be clear, but the route is often filled with unexpected turns. This is by design. Life is not meant to hand you everything in a straight line, because it is in the detours that you develop creativity, patience, and adaptability. If you only ever walked an easy, predictable road, you would never grow beyond your invisible. And when quitting feels easier than continuing, it is in those moments that persistence is forged. Every time you choose to keep moving forward despite discouragement, you are training yourself to outlast temporary setbacks. Persistence doesn't mean you never feel tired or frustrated. It means you refuse to let those feelings decide your future. Over time, this unwavering commitment becomes part of your identity, and it is this quality that separates those who succeed from those who stop halfway. Another aspect of the journey is that it changes your perspective on success itself. At the beginning, success might look like a certain number in your bank account, a specific position, or public recognition. But as you walk the path, you begin to realize that real success is also about peace of mind, integrity, and the relationships you build along the way. You understand that reaching the top is meaningless if you lose your character in the process, and that the way you achieve your goal matters just as much as the goal itself. The journey refines your priorities so that when you finally arrive, you do so with a sense of fulfillment rather than emptiness. The process also gives you appreciation for progress. When you have worked hard, faced obstacles, and stretched yourself beyond your comfort zone, the achievement feels richer because you know what it cost you. It is this cost that gives the reward its value. People who try to skip the process often find that even if they arrive quickly, they feel unfulfilled because they have not grown into the kind of person who can truly appreciate the victory. In contrast, those who embrace the process find joy not only in the destination, but in every milestone along the way. It is worth noting that the journey will test your patience. In a world that glorifies speed and instant results, patience is often undervalued, yet it is essential for lasting success. Growth takes time, and the deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. Rushing the process can lead to fragile results that crumble under pressure. Patience allows you to endure the slow seasons, to stay committed when progress is invisible, and to trust that what you are building will be worth the wait. Along the way, you will also encounter moments that force you to make choices about who you want to be. Will you take shortcuts to get ahead faster, or will you stay true to your values even if it takes longer? Will you allow failure to define you, or will you use it as a lesson to improve? The journey is filled with these crossroads, and the decisions you make at them will shape not just your success, but your character. In the end, it is better to arrive later with integrity than to arrive quickly by compromising what matters most. One of the most beautiful things about the journey is that it often inspires others without you even realizing it. People are watching how you handle a world that glorifies speed and instant results. Patience is often undervalued, yet it is essential for lasting success. Growth takes time, and the deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. Rushing the process can lead to fragile results that crumble under pressure. Patience allows you to endure the slow seasons, to stay committed when progress is invisible, and to trust that what you are building will be worth the wait. Along the way, you will also encounter moments that force you to make choices about who you want to be. Will you take shortcuts to get ahead faster, or will you stay true to your values even if it takes longer? Will you allow failure to define you, or will you use it as a lesson to improve? The journey is filled with these crossroads, and the decisions you make at them will shape not just your success, but your character. In the end, it is better to arrive later with integrity than to arrive quickly by compromising what matters most. One of the most beautiful things about the journey is that it often inspires others without you even realizing it. People are watching how you handle